Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. We are talking about a really fascinating and honestly massive shift that's happening in modern families right now. We're looking at the rise of hybrid parenting and, specifically how we actually balance deep empathy with true authority. Let's get into it.
So here's the big question. What happens when gentle parenting becomes so gentle that, well, no one's actually leading? Look, your goal is powerful, right? You want to break generational cycles. You want to make your kids feel completely emotionally safe. And that is absolutely amazing. But the version of gentle parenting we're constantly seeing blasted across social media, it might actually be trapping you. It leaves a lot of us just looking around wondering, wait, who is actually in charge of the house here?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just how relatable this burnout is. If you have ever found yourself literally hiding in the bathroom just to escape the endless looping negotiations, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're trying to be perfectly calm 100% of the time, you end up totally exhausted from over-explaining every single little thing. You actually become afraid to say no because you're terrified it'll somehow damage your bond. But this endless emotional availability, this deep fear of any conflict, it's completely draining us.
But okay, here's the good news. You genuinely do not have to choose between being kind and being a leader. Enter hybrid parenting. It's this beautiful, balanced approach that combines real emotional validation with firm expectations and accountability. It basically restores your parental leadership. And the best part? It doesn't reject emotional connection at all. Actually, scratch that. It completely embraces it, while perfectly aligning with what the American Psychological Association calls highly evidence-based authoritative parenting. It's the sweet spot.
And this brilliantly illustrates what it's not, because to understand hybrid parenting, we got to clear up some misconceptions. We are absolutely not talking about old-school authoritarian parenting. You know, that harsh, because I said so, end of story approach. No way. You aren't going backwards to fear-based discipline. Instead, the hybrid approach says, hey, I care about your feelings, and the boundary still stands. You keep all that amazing emotional intelligence you've worked on, but you bring back your confident authority.
And on the flip side, we aren't talking about permissive parenting either. We're not doing the whole do whatever you want because I literally cannot handle upsetting you routine. Hybrid parenting is all about high warmth combined directly with high expectations. It's like you listen to their feelings, you help them calm down without ever shaming them, but you absolutely still expect them to follow the rules of the house.
So the crucial point is, how do we actually do this when we're in the heat of the moment and everyone's losing their minds? Well, we use a highly effective three-step methodology. It's the hybrid parenting formula: validate, limit, and lead. This simple three-part framework is a total game changer. It keeps you deeply connected with your child without sacrificing 1 ounce of your authority. Let's break down exactly how each step works.
Okay, step 1 is to validate. You have to name the child's feelings so they know it's a real thing. Say they're screaming because screen time is over. You just say, "You are really upset that screen time is over." Boom, you're acknowledging their reality. But here is the absolute secret sauce. Validation is not the same thing as agreement. You are simply telling the child, hey, your feelings are real and I see them. You are definitely not saying they get to keep the tablet.
Which brings us right to step 2, limit. You hold the boundary and you do it without a shred of guilt. Remember this, breaking generational cycles does not mean removing boundaries. It just means changing how those boundaries are delivered. The limit remains totally firm, but your delivery, it's safe, it's controlled. You can say the tablet is done without yelling, without threats, and without any humiliation.
And finally, we have step 3, lead. This is where you step up, guide the behavior, and show them exactly what happens next. You might say, you can ask again tomorrow, but today the answer is no. Or you can squeeze this pillow as hard as you want, but we are not throwing things. Clear leadership tells the kid exactly what to do with those massive feelings. It keeps you, the adult, completely steady, grounded, and clearly in charge of the ship. Let's move to and see how this builds into some real-world scenarios. Look, we've all been exhausted enough to just cave and try the extreme gentle approach, right? Like, fine, just have the tablet because I literally don't want to melt down right now. But listen to the hybrid script instead. I know you want more time. The tablet is done. I will help you move on. Do you hear the difference? You handle the boundary with incredible warmth, but it remains absolutely firm.
Now let's compare that to old-school harsh discipline. The classic, stop crying, it's not a big deal. I mean, that just dismisses their reality entirely and demands compliance through fear. But look at the hybrid approach. You are disappointed, I get it. And the answer is still no. It is so brilliantly simple. You validate that their disappointment is completely genuine, but the boundary stays rock solid. No wavering.
Honestly, this next concept might literally be the ultimate cure for parental burnout. Instead of over-explaining, negotiating and justifying your reasoning for 10 exhausting minutes while your toddler is screaming at you, try the hybrid script. Just say, I hear you, the rule stays. That's it. Keeping it this simple completely relieves you of the immense, crushing pressure to endlessly negotiate every single limit you set in your home.
And the coolest part? When you parent this way, the developmental payoff for your kid is massive. They learn absolutely essential life skills. They learn that feelings are allowed, limits are real, repair is expected, resilience grows, and respect is required. Think about it. Children actually feel the safest when the adult in the room is clear, warm, and steady. This kind of predictable environment directly leads to robust self-reliance, high social competence, and real lasting emotional health.
And hey, there's a massive emotional payoff for you, too. Seriously, remember this. Children do not need perfect parents. They need consistent, loving leadership. Giving up the impossible, draining demand to be endlessly emotionally available makes parenting sustainable again. You really don't have to choose between being kind and being firm. You can be a cycle breaker who leads with confident, loving authority. It's a win-win.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. How will you hold a boundary with love today? I really want to challenge you to take this validate, limit, lead formula and apply it literally the very next time a conflict arises. Are you ready to stop the endless negotiating and start leading? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope this helps you step back into your leadership role with total confidence. You've got this.